Hello mga classmates, so ang i-discuss namin is ang Lesson 16, Linear Homogeneous Differential Equation with Constant Coefficient. So, paano nga ba natin malalaman na ang isang equation is linear homogeneous? So, yung linear differential equation, order of n, can be written as a sub n times d raised to n times y over dx raised to n plus a sub n minus 1 times d raised to n minus 1 times y over dx raised to n minus 1 plus a sub n minus 2 times d raised to n minus 2 times y over dx raised to n minus 2 plus a sub 1 dy over dx plus a sub 0 times y is equals to g of x. So, yung equation na yun is considered as linear differential equation. So, paano naman para maging homogeneous siya? So, yung g of x dapat 0 siya. Or yung pinaka-main equation natin is dapat naka-equate sa 0 para masabi natin na yung isang equation is linear homogeneous. Differential operators. Let capital letter D denote differentiation with respect to x. Gagamit lang tayo ng capital letter D para palitan yung mga derivatives. In general, let d raised to k denote differentiation k times. Gamit tayo ng d square kung twice yung derivatives. D cube pag thrice naman. Tsaka pwede pang madagdagan doon based dun sa given equation. Therefore, f of d is equals to a sub n times d raised to n plus a sub n minus 1 times d raised to n minus 1 plus a sub n minus 2 times d raised to n minus 2 plus a sub 1 times d plus a sub 0 is called a differential operator of order of n. Kung mapapansin natin, itong linear homogeneous equation is pwede natin siyang isulat as f of d times y gamit yung differential operator. It means f of d times y is a convenient way of writing a linear homogeneous differential equation. So, yung linear homogeneous differential equation, meron siyang distinct roots. If the auxiliary equation f of m is equal to 0 has distinct roots m sub 1, m sub 2, m sub 3, and so on, there are distinct solution of the differential equation f of d times y is equal to 0. Kung yun daw makukuha nating roots sa auxiliary equation is walang magkakamuka or distinct silang lahat, pwede daw natin gamitin yung solution na y is equals to c sub 1 times e raised to m sub 1 times x plus c sub 2 times e raised to m sub 2 times x plus c sub 3 times e raised to m sub 3 times x. Tsaka kung ilan mang roots yung makuha natin. So, proceed na tayo sa example para mas maintindihan natin. Example number 1. d square y over dx plus dy over dx minus 2y is equal to 0. You can recall that f of d times y is equal to 0. Ito yung pinaka-easiest way to write a linear homogeneous differential equation. So, gagawin natin itong example number 1 into this type of equation. So, ang magiging kalabasan is quantity of d square plus d minus 2 times y is equal to 0. To cancel out y, magta-times lang tayo ng 1 over y. 0 is still 0. So, pwede natin gawing auxiliary equation para makuha natin yung mga roots. So, papalitan lang natin ng m, yung mga d. Plus m minus 2 is equal to 0. Factor out m plus 2 times m minus 1 is equal to 0. Equate natin both factor into 0. M negative 2 at m sub 2 positive 1. Nakuha na natin yung mga roots. Pwede natin substitute sa pinaka general equation. Y is equal to c sub 1 e raised to negative 2x plus c sub 2 e raised to x. Yan na yung final answer. Sa example number 2 na tayo. So, ang example number 2 natin is quantity of d squared plus 4d times y is equal to 0. So, mapapansin natin na yung example number 2 is naka f of d times y is equal to 0 form na siya. So, kakancel out na lang natin yung y. So, magmumultiply tayo both sides ng 1 over y. So, cancel yung y. 0 pa din. So, ang magiging kalabasan is d squared plus 4d is equal to 0. Pwede na nating siyang gawing auxiliary equation. So, m squared plus 4m is equal to 0. Factor out natin yung m times quantity of m plus 4 is equal to 0. Equate natin yung both factor into 0. So, yung m na to, dahil wala naman siyang kasama, so is 0 na siya. Itong isa, m sub 2 natin is negative 4. So, pwede natin siyang substitute sa pinaka-main equation. Y is equals to c sub 1 e 0x. So, 0x, any number multiplied by 0 is 0. So, e raised to 0 is equals to 1. So, bali, ang magiging sagot na lang natin dyan is c sub 1 plus c sub 2 times e raised to negative 4x. Yan na yung final answer natin. So, yung last example natin is yung example number 3, which is y triple prime plus 2y double prime minus 5y prime minus 6y is equal to 0. Recall that f of d times y is equal to 0. So, gagawin natin yung equation number 3 or example number 3 into this type of equation. So, magiging kalabasan is d cube plus 2d square minus 5d minus 6 times y is equal to 0. I-cancel out natin yung y. Magta-times lang tayo ng 1 over y. 0 pa din. So, pwede natin siyang gawing auxiliary equation. Papalitan lang natin ng m yung mga d. M cube plus 2m square minus 5m minus 6 is equals to 0. So, pwede natin siyang i-factor out. Pero mapapansin natin na cube yung highest degree. So, mahirap na mano-mano yung gagawin nating pag-factor out. So, gagamit tayo ng synthetic division. 1, 2, negative 5, negative 6. Kukunin lang natin yung mga coefficient nung sa 2. Yung pagpili nito is trial and error lang. Bring down 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 5 plus positive 8 is 3. Negative 3 times, positive 3 times 2 is 6. So, 0. Ibig sabihin na tama yung ginamit natin na pang divide is pag 0, yung nakuha nating sagot sa last term. So, bali ang magiging factor niya na is m squared plus 4m plus 3 multiply by x. Babaguhin lang natin yung sign nito ay m minus 2 is equal to 0. Mapapansin natin na factorable pa tong isang factor na to. So, pa-factor out pa natin siya ulit, which is m plus 1 times m plus 3 times m minus 2 is equal to 0. So, equate lang natin yung lahat ng factor na yan into 0 para makuha natin yung mga roots. So, m sub 1 is magiging negative 1. Yung m sub 2 natin is magiging negative 3. Yung m sub 3 natin is magiging positive 2. Nakuha na natin yung roots. So, i-substitute na natin yung mga roots sa pinaka main equation, sa general equation. Y is equals to c sub 1 e x negative x plus negative pala to, nagkamali ako plus c sub 2 e raised to negative 3x plus c sub 3 e raised to 2x. So, yun na yung final answer natin.
Araw po sa ating lahat. Our topic for today is repeated roots. So, for roots m occurring x times, the solution is y is equal to c1 e raised to mx plus c2 x e raised to mx plus c3 x squared e raised to mx plus and so on and so forth. So, kung papansin natin sa ating general solution, kung ilang beses umulit yung roots, maglalagay lang tayo ng x. Sa una, hindi tayo maglalagay ng x, tapos then sa pangalawa, maglalagay lang tayo ng x. Kapag 3 beses umulit, maglalagay tayo ng x squared. Kapag 4, maglalagay tayo ng x cubed. So, this is our first example. D raised to 3 minus 3d squared plus 3d minus 1 is equal to y is equal to 0. So, pwede natin siyang i-factor ng d minus 1 times d minus 1 times d minus 1, y is equal to 0. Pwede natin siyang i-rewrite ng d minus 1 cube. So, our m is equal to positive 1. Kasi kapag transpose natin yung 1 sa kabila, magiging positive. Therefore, our y is equal to c1 e raised to x plus c2 x e raised to x plus c3 x squared e raised to x. So, kung papansin natin na maglagay sa dalawang beses umulit yung roots natin, so maglalagay lang tayo ng x. 3 beses umulit yung roots natin, x squared. Pero ganun pa din yung yung roots natin is x pa din. Ating second example is d squared plus 4d plus 4y is equal to 0. So, pwede natin i-factor yung ating d squared plus 4d plus 4 ng d plus 2 times d plus 2. Pwede natin i-write ng d plus 2 raised to 2. So, kapag transpose natin yung 2 sa kabila, magiging negative. So, our roots is negative 2. So, dalawang beses umulit yung roots natin. So, maglalagay lang tayo ng x. Sa una, hindi tayo maglalagay ng x. Raised to negative 2x plus c2x e raised to negative 2. So, this is our sixth example. This raised to 3 plus 4d squared plus d y is equal to 0. Sa problem na to, pwede natin i-factor yung d. Pwede natin ilabas si d. So, our equation is d times 4d squared plus 4d plus 1 is equal to 0. Then, pwede natin i-factor yung nasa gitna niya is, pwede natin siya i-factor ng 2d plus 1 times 2d plus 1 is equal to 0. Tapos, pwede natin i-write siya ng d times 2d plus 1 raised to 2 is equal to 0. So, our m1 is equal to 0. Our m2 and m3 is equal to negative 1 half. So, our equation is equal to y is equal to c1. C1 lang siya kasi yung e niya is nakalagay sa 0 is ano siya, 'di ba? 1. So, C1 lang ilalagay natin yan. Plus C2 e raised to negative 1 half. Then, plus Cx, 'di ba? Kasi dalawang umulit yung roots natin. So, maglalagay tayo ng x e raised to negative 1 half.
So, kapag naman daw po complex roots na yung nakuha nating roots and in the form of a plus minus bi, which is yung a po is yung real part and ito pong bi is yung imaginary part natin. So, alam naman po natin na yung I is equals to square root of negative 1. Malaking tulong po yan mamaya. So, pagka naman daw po ganito yung nakuha natin, ang gagamitin daw po nating solution is y is equals to c1 e raised to quantity a plus bi times x plus c2 e raised to quantity a minus bi times x. So, i-distribute po natin yung x sa a plus bi. So, pag dinistribute po natin siya, magiging resulta po is y is equals to c1 e raised to ax plus ibx plus C2 raised to C2e raised to ax minus I dx. So, eto po, yung e raised to ax plus I dx, in law of exponent po, yung halimbawa po yung x squared times x cubed is equals to x raised to 2 plus 3. So, magiging x to the 5th. Parang ganun lang din po yan. Ito pong e raised to ax plus ibx is ito. Kaya pwede po natin siyang paghiwalayin. Tulad po nung ginawa ko dito. So, ganun din po pagka-subtraction. Yung nandito, pwede din po natin siyang paghiwalayin. Pero negative po yung sa isa. So, pinaghiwalay ko po siya. So, ang nangyari is y is equals to c1. Kasi yan, pinaghiwalay ko po. So, ngayon, pwede po natin i-factor out yung e raised to ax. Ilalabas po natin siya. Kasi common po siya. So, ang magiging resulta po is y is equals to e raised to ax quantity c1 e raised to ibx plus c2 e raised to negative ibx. Tapos using Euler's relation na yung e raised to ibx is equals to cosine bx plus I sine of bx. So, kapag negative naman po, yung exponent, magiging negative lang din po dito. So, etong pong ano na to is same dito. So, isa-substitute po natin siya sa may equation na to. So, y is equals to, copy lang po, e raised to ax times c1, copy lang. Tapos, palit po natin tong e raised to ibx. Yung e raised to ibx, papalitan po natin ng cosine bx plus I sin bx. So, pinalitan po natin siya plus C2, copy lang. Tapos, yung e raised to negative ibx is equals to cosine bx minus I sin bx. So, pinalitan lang po natin. So, further distribution, dinistribute ko lang po yung C1 dito sa loob. Kaya po naging ganito. Pati po itong C2, dinistribute ko lang po sa loob. So, ang naging resulta po is y is equals to e raised to ax times c1 cosine bx plus c1 I sin bx plus c2 cosine bx minus c2 I sin bx. So, pag po pinactor out po natin yung magkamukha, kunwari po, ito po, yung cosine bx plus cosine bx, magkamukha po siya. So, pwede po natin siyang i-separate. So, cosine bx, tapos lalabas po natin siya. So, ang matitira po is yung C1 tsaka C2. So, ito po siya. Tapos, ito po, magkamukha din yung I sin bx. So, inano po siya, nilabas ko lang po yung I sin bx. Kaya, natira po yung C1 minus C2. So, ang naging resulta po is y is equals to e raised to ax quantity cosine bx times c1 plus c2 plus I sin bx times c1 plus c2. So, ito pong c1 plus c2 is constant po siya. So, pwede po natin siyang i-represent as isang variable na lang na k. Means constant pa din po siya. So, pati din po itong I times C1 plus C2 is, constant din po. I-represent po natin siya as K2. So, further simplification po, y is equals to e raised to ax times quantity k cosine bx plus k2 sin bx. So, bibigyan ko po kayo ng tatlong example tungkol dito para po matest po natin. So, first example po. So, ang first step po na gagawin natin is katulad lang po nung sa kanina. Yung ililipat nyo lang po siya sa auxiliary equation niya, which is m squared plus 4m plus 8 equals 0. So, pag po ganyan, paano po natin kukunin yung roots niya? May dalawang paraan po, which is quadratic formula or yung completing the square. Para po sa mas madali po yung completing the square. So, paano po yan? Lilipat po natin to dito sa kabila. So, m squared plus 4m is equals to negative 8. So, mag-aano po tayo, magpa-plus po tayo both sides para maging perfect square to. So, i-divide po natin tong second term, yung middle term po, sa 2. So, 4 over 2 equals 2. Tapos, i-squared po natin. Yung magiging sagot po natin, ayun po yung i-add natin both sides. Plus 4 plus 4. So, ito po, kita na po natin na perfect square trinomial. So, which is m plus 2 quantity squared is equals to negative 4. So, negative 4 po siya. So, i-square root po natin both sides. Makancel po yung square. So, ito po yung square root, which is anong square root ng negative numbers. So, imaginary po siya. So, ang gagawin po natin dyan, ito, square root ng negative 4 is same as square root ng 4 times negative 1. So, ito is same lang din po ng square root of 4 times square root of negative 1. So, alam naman po natin na yung square root ng negative 1 is I. Tapos, ang square root ng 4 is plus and minus 4. Ay, plus and minus 2. So, sulat natin siya as n plus 2 is equals to, yun ang square root na to, plus minus 4. Plus
2.
minus 2. Times, ito, I. Yun na po. Tapos ito, ililipat po natin dito. So, m is equals to negative 2 plus minus 2i. So, kanina po gagawin dyan. Yung kanina po, yung naging sagot natin, yung general solution natin. So, i-substitute lang po natin siya. Ito po siya. Ito po yung form niya. A plus minus bi, which is ito po yung a natin. Ito yung b natin. So, i-substitute po natin siya dito. So, magiging sagot po natin is y is equals to b raised to ax, which is a is negative 2, negative 2x times constant c1 cosine bx, and yung b natin is 2 din. Cosine b is 2x plus c2 sine bx, sine and yung b ulit natin 2x. Ano po yung sagot natin? So, another example po. So, second example na po tayo. So, quantity d squared plus 16 times y equals 0. So, ilipat na po natin siya sa auxiliary equation niya, which is m squared plus 16 equals 0. So, lipat po natin to. Mas madali ngayon. So, m squared is equals to negative 16. So, yung lipat mo, magbabago yung sign. So, square root natin has para makancel ng squared. Ay, hindi. So, ayan nga. So, tulad ng ginawa natin kanina is same siya as 16 times negative 1. So, yung negative 1 nga natin is I. So, m is equals to, anong square root ng 16 is plus minus 4. So, ayun yung 4 kanina kong nababanggit. So, I. Ang I natin. So, paano gagawin na yun natin dyan? In the form pa din ba siya nito? Oo. Kasi yung A natin ngayon is 0. Kasi parang may 0 plus or minus 4i siya. So, ganun. So, pag sinubstitute ngayon natin yung A dyan, yung E natin mawawala na. Kasi, magiging 1 na lang siya. Kasi, pagka sinubstitute mo ito ng 0, magiging 0 times x. So, 0 pa rin. Tapos, e raised to 0 is, anything raised to 0 is 1. So, iaan natin ngayon dito sa formula natin. Tatanggalin natin to kasi 0 na may exponent niya. Parang may 1 na lang dyan na naka-times. So, C1 cosine bx cosine, ano yung b natin? Ito, 4x plus C2 sine 4x. Ano po yung sagot natin? So, number 2. Dali na. Basic. So, third example na po tayo. So, paano yan? Cubic na siya. So, mas mahirap siya. So, paano gagawin natin dyan? O, nakalimutan mo na. Ililipat natin sa auxiliary equation niya. M cubed minus 3 b squared plus 9, ay mali, hindi siya b, ano nga pala, auxiliary equation niya pala. So, ganyan natin siya. Ganyan siya m plus 9m plus 13. 13 na. Ayan, kagulo-gulo na. 13 equals 0. So, paano gagawin natin dyan? Ilaan natin siya. Natin siya pwede gamitin ng completing the square. So, synthetic division yung gagawin natin. Gamitin natin. So, latag natin yung mga coefficient niya. 1, negative 3, plus 9, 13. So, magkaano tayo? Kailangan mag-isip tayo ng number na yung factor ng 13. So, ano ba yung mga factor ng 13? So, ano yung mga factor ng 13? So, 13 tsaka 1 lang. Siyempre, negative 1, positive 1, negative 13 tsaka positive 13. So, di naman agad natin pwede na 13 kasi masyadong mataas yun. 3 mo dito, tapos pa-plus mo, di siya magiging 13. So, ang itatry, anong magandang itry? Positive or negative? So, paano yan? Paano pag positive? 1 minus 3, 2. Negative 2. Plus 9. Negative 2. Negative 2 plus 9. Magiging 7. And 7 plus 13. So, wala. Hindi pwede. Hindi siya pwede, no? So, hindi siya magiging 0. So, ang itatry natin is negative 1. So 1. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So, plus yan, diba? So, negative 3 plus 1 is equals to negative 4. So, negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. So, 4 plus 9 plus 4 is 13. So, negative 1 times 13 is negative 13. So, negative 13 plus 13 is 0. So, tama. Yan yung factor natin. So, eto, isulat natin siya as m. Eto, yung negative sign niya, gagawin natin positive. Positive 1 times ano? Times, eto. Itong mga, babawasan lang natin siya ng isa. So, okay na natin yung coefficient 1. So, magiging m squared na lang m squared minus, ito pala minus 4m plus 13 equals 0. So, yung isang roots natin, makukuha na agad natin yung isang root which is negative 1. Kasi pag divide natin siya both sides by ito, isang buo na to, matitira is m plus 1. So, yung m plus 1, pag nilipat mo sa kabila, magiging m is equals to negative 1. So, yun yung isa nating roots. M is equals to negative 1. So, dito, kukunin natin yung roots na itong isa na to. So, m squared minus 4m plus, so yung 13, lipat na natin yung 13 equals to negative 13. Lipat na natin siya kasi ang gagamit natin is computing the square. So, eto, i-divide ulit natin siya sa 2. So, m squared minus 4m plus 4 is equals to negative 13 plus 4. Nag-add tayo ng 4. Tapos nag-add tayo ng 4 sa kabila kasi para maging equal sila. So, eto is alam naman natin na m minus 2 squared equals to negative 13 plus 4 is negative 9. So, square rooting both sides. So, yung magiging sagot natin is ito na yung plus natin. So, makakancel po yung squared. So, ang matitira is m minus 2 is equals to yung square root ulit na ito. So, alam naman natin na plus minus 3i. So, ililipat natin yan to m equals to 2. Positive 2 na siya kung nilipat mo. Plus minus 3i. So, ito yung isa pa nating roots. Saka ito. So, yung katulad nung kanina, yung kay Martin, sa may distinct roots. So, yung formula nun is C1 times E raised to kung ano yung roots natin, negative 1 x, yung times nyo sa x plus yung ito na yung sa may ito. Ay, lagyan pa lang yung y is equals to C1 raised to E, C1 times E raised to negative x plus. So, ito na. Yung C1, ay, ito pala yung A. Ito yung A natin. Ito yung B natin. B. So, E raised to x. E raised to AX. Ano yung A natin is 2. X times yung C. C2 na kasi may C1 na tayo. C2 cosine BX. Cosine, ano yung B natin is 3x plus C2 is may C2 na tayo, so C3 na. C3 sin BX. Sin, ano yung B ulit natin? 3x. Ayan na yun. Ayan na yung final answer natin. So, pwede mo siyang i-distribute doon kung gusto mo o gawin mo na lang. Ayan na po yung final answer. Yan lang po.